Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of an Evolved Review. I am your host, James Caleb Kitchens, and I am joined right here today on this very special Valentine's Day episode by none other than my co host, the man who watches more wrestling content than anyone in the known universe, Caleb Stovall.
That's why I'm doing my AJ Styles pose. See,
That's it.
It's so true. And
that's just how it is.
And you want to know what's funny about that? This all started because someone decided to post on my Facebook one time after I made a comment about an AEW pay-per-view. I was just like, this is one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in years, because it was. And the guy literally had the nerve to be like, you must not watch much wrestling. And I went, ha!
Right.
I can school you.
And I immediately came on that same post and I was like, listen, you have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, we're taking a little bit of a break today from our typical coverage of the Ring of Honor Pure Tournament. So we covered the third episode of that last week, and then tonight we are gonna do a special episode on our top 5 couples in wrestling, in pro wrestling in general. And I'm excited about it, man. I this was just kind of something that I realized we were going to be airing an episode on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, get all the heart-shaped, chocolates, and get all the wine and cheese and romantic stuff out, because this is going to be a very romantic episode.
Right? I don't know about all that, but fuck it. I mean, and I have an odd feeling that if what you're doing on your Valentine's Day is watching this podcast as it airs, then it probably wasn't that fucking awesome. I'm just gonna be straight up with you.
Well,
but,
okay.
But it is what it is, right? Yeah, man. So as you know, so this is the rules for all our top 5 lists. Caleb has a top 5. I have a top 5, and we have not disclosed to each other anything about our top 5 list. This we haven't even given a hint. Okay, no information on who's in our top 5. We've never had any crossover. We've done 3 top 5 lists now, and we have never once had any crossover. I feel like that's going to change tonight. If we have 10 different couples, I will be shocked. But here's how it's going to play out. If Caleb has somebody on his list that I also have on mine, so let's say Caleb's number 5 is my number 3. When he says his number 5, I'm not going to acknowledge that person is on my list. We'll talk about it briefly. We'll move on. When we get to number 3, I'll talk about my reasons why I have them at number 3, and we'll go forward from there.
It's amazing that we're having to explain the rules now for this, because I just know that we're going to have some crossovers on this. I just know it.
Yeah, we've always been prepared for it, but I feel like this is the day. So let's see how it goes. We had Nate on for the top 15 match or top 5 matches of all time, and we had 15 unique matches, which was incredible. But there are far more matches than there are couples. So Caleb, as co-host, you have the right of first passage here. What is your number 5 couple, sir?
Well, my number 5 is someone I worked very closely with at Flatline Pro Wrestling. He was the owner of Flatline Pro Wrestling, or it was pretty much his. Chris Wiggins and Casey Wiggins.
Wow.
That is my top 5. And it really was because the night of the Royal Rumble, where Daniel Bryan had one of the best matches I had seen in a long time with Bray Wyatt, but then, wasn't in the Rumble and everyone booed the hell out of Batista. I remember that so well because, I was there with you guys. You were also there too, and we were all watching the Royal Rumble at Chris and Casey's house, and I just always was so happy for him. And the way that he proposed to her was he did it at WrestleMania 30, where, it was one of the biggest WrestleManias that they had, one of the best WrestleManias that they had, even though it wasn't really supposed to be at the time. That's that's kind of like my dream kind of way to like propose to my girl or something like that, you know, like if I have one, spoiler alert. But like yeah, dude, I just you know, I don't know if I really want to use this term, but I am like they're so cute together. Like they really are. And I'm so happy you know, now they're having children and stuff like that. You know, he's a complete family man, but yet he's still doing referee stuff and everything like that. Like it was, and I love the photo with y'all. Well, you were at their wedding and stuff like that, I believe. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, yes, you were at the wedding, and like you know, they did the DX pose. Like I was just like, oh, come on, man. That's just like,
Yeah.
it's just
I don't think
like,
I was in that, but it was still awesome. They actually did the whole wedding party had like these really cool like wrestling entrances. They did a lot of
yeah,
really cool stuff. The only thing I really clearly remember from that night is that Wiggins had a bottle of Don Julio Blanco at the bar, and it was reserved for just him and I, and we shared it with the bartender, and that's why I don't remember anything else about that wedding, because I drank about 9 shots of tequila or more with the groom that night. It was a good night. Um, it was an amazing time, and man, I'm flabbergasted. Like I didn't even think about that being on your list. I know they'll be honored by it. They were involved in a wrestling storyline together. Um,
yeah,
I thought that that was really cool. Yeah, man. And let me say this is that I thoroughly enjoyed operating Flatline Pro Wrestling with them.
yeah,
And anytime, Chris Wiggins and I have such a storied history. I've always gotten along great with Casey, but Chris and I have had such a storied history. We have been enemies, frenemies, people who just didn't really like each other that much. But during Flatline, man, we really gained such a respect for one another, and I have all the respect for him, and I love working with him in any capacity, whether I'm working for him as a member of the booking team when we were at Flatline, or whether he is he's a senior official at Viral Pro Wrestling, or whether I just see him at a show. Man, it's always awesome, and yeah, I'm so happy that's on your top five, dude.
yeah. I figured you would like that. But it's true, man. You know, like I said, I think they have such a cute story, the way that you know everything is played out for them and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my number five, Chris Wick. And plus, I love Chris. Like, I love talking wrestling with him because he's just so knowledgeable with it. He's very smart when it comes to it. So yeah, that's my number five, Chris Wiggins and Casey Wiggins.
Agreed. That's that's epic, man. I just didn't even. Yeah, mind
Yeah.
blown. All right, my number five. That caught me out of nowhere, dude. My number five is Cody and Brandy Rhodes. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that the reason they deserved a spot on this list is because AEW is easily the second biggest promotion right now, especially in the United States. The two of them are sort of the first couple of AEW. Um, every time Cody does one of his big entourage entrances, or even if it's just him, usually he's got Brandy at his side. They have fans outside of people who are wrestling fans that are just fans of them, that follow them on social media, YouTube. They could even, I think the two of them could probably have a reality show successfully in the future. I
Yeah.
think that people want to follow them. People know about their dog. I mean, people are just into them, and Brandy's got her own sort of storyline thing going, and whether I think that's successful or not is not part of why they're on this list, but the importance of the two of them and the prominence of the two of them and the fact that Cody, to me, Cody Rhodes will always be the biggest draw in AEW, and that's just at least for me, um, but
Yeah.
I think in general too. But yeah, that's my number five, and I'm picking Cody and Brandy Rhodes.
Dude, I agree with you on that one. I'll go ahead and spoil mine. They're not on mine because it's not that I forgot about them, but it would have been just kind of too easy for me, I guess. And I say that just because like I loved the angle where MJF was strapping him. He had like all of these people saying, "Come on, Cody, just take it," and he was about ready to give up. And then like Brandy comes down and like he sees her hand, and like it literally was something you write in a movie. Like he just like he kissed her hand and everything, and she was just like, "I love you so much," and she's like, "You got one more, come on, just do it in you, just get up and everything." So he got up and he took it, and then of course MJF pulled his bastard move, but like
Yeah,
that's just good television, is it not?
agreed. It is.
It,
It
it, it just
absolutely is.
because it's real. Like people can identify with it. It doesn't feel scripted, kind of thing. But I did think about them. I really did, but it just wasn't for other reasons, I guess, for me. But I'll go ahead
Right.
and spoil that one.
Right. Absolutely. Well, so far, man, we've got two unique entries here. What's your number four?
All right. Well, I'm just gonna have to go with this couple because, yes, I just have always thought that this couple was pretty much perfect for both storyline and real life and stuff like that. Uh, the most famous one probably Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I just, I like, dude. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be some stuff that comes out when the China episode comes out and stuff like that that might change some opinions or whatnot. I don't know, but I don't know. I really think that their story is a love story. I really do. You could say, yeah, well, it is the boss's daughter and stuff like that, but I don't think you fall like I don't think you can help who you fall in love with. There, and if I remember correctly, their story like did start off as a just regular storyline. They were just put into that thing, and Triple H has like the marriage where he interrupted Test and Stephanie's wedding, and he did that thing where he drugged Stephanie and he took her to the little white chapel and he married her and stuff like that. I was just like, okay, I don't care what anyone says. I don't know if I would ever do it, but this is just some good television right now. It just really is like it just was. And then no, and then like they grew from there and like, they actually grew to like love each other and stuff like that. They have a family. They run a wrestling company and stuff like that. Triple H has had an amazing career. He's had that type of career I think anyone would aspire to have. And, I think that he has worked hard to get it, by the way. People can say, well, he might have booked himself here or something like that. But Triple H is great in the ring. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Some of the stuff he did in the Attitude Era, man, the stuff with The Rock, the stuff with Austin, like this stuff is just so good. Um, I didn't necessarily like the Stephanie McMahon Triple H storyline where they split them up because I was just like, this just feels hokey. Like, I mean, it made for a great WrestleMania match with Chris Jericho, but like Hogan and Rock was really the main event of that. So, like just I don't know. That one kind of fell flat for me. But like just behind the scenes, knowing that like they actually love each other, and then like you see them as the authority figure, which I love that idea. I thought that there were so much better ways that they could have done it, and I might get into that a little bit later on. There was so many things that they kind of missed out on with that, but I love seeing it on camera and stuff like that. And I did like Triple H's documentary, even though it was completely from WWE's point of view. But like, yeah, dude, I like them, and they're just a really great couple, both on screen and off screen. So Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
That's an awesome number four. And let me say, Triple H's career is always going to be bolstered by WWE, right? It's like he had an impressive career. He put the work in. The man's definitely a main event draw. He will always be in the shadow of The Rock, of Austin, even of Undertaker. He will
I
always be in the shadow of Shawn Michaels. And I know it eats at him. I know that a lot of the shit that they've tried to do to like kind of glorify Triple H is that it comes from the fact that in his mind he doesn't understand why he can't be as good as those four people, but he's still better than most everybody else. and
yeah,
and the thing is, he is a draw. He's not as big of a draw as WWE believes he is, but he is a draw. And because of the way he's taking care of his body, well, he's always been obsessed with that. He will be in great shape for a very long time. And
yeah,
even though he is older right now, he's still in great condition because he's not putting himself through wrestling a match all the time. I'm not
yeah,
going to say it's still easy for him. He probably has to train his ass off whenever he gets in the ring, but still, he can still go out there and go. Um, yeah, I think that's a good pick. Um, yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good number four.
yeah,
Um, my number four is almost completely different. This couple is in my number four more so for the things that they've done outside of WWE than for the things they did inside of WWE. My number four is Miz and Maurice. Um, Almost purely because there are so many people that don't give a single shit about wrestling that love their reality show. And I'll be honest, I've even watched some of it, and I liked it, even though I know that all like reality TV is like completely staged nonsense.
of course.
It's they're just entertaining. They're entertaining people. The Miz got his start in reality TV. It's his bread and butter. And let's not forget, neither one of them are like, both of them still have incredible in ring careers. The Miz is somebody that no one thought would ever be in a WrestleMania main event. Never in a
But he was
million years. He was. He was a title holder. He's held multiple championships in WWE. His wife has held championships in WWE. Both of them have incredible careers on their own, and then they also have made this awesome career outside of WWE, doing all these things, and they've become bigger than their wrestling personas. And
yeah.
for that reason, man, that's why they're my number four.
That's a really good one. And I thought about them too. I think I love. I haven't actually seen Ms. Or Mrs. and Ms. Whatever it's called. I haven't actually seen it, but I kind of want to check it out now. I think it's on the WWE network.
I want to say it is.
And I thought about him because the Miz has had a very interesting career. You know, he's had the type of career I think actually, if you really think about it, people aspire to have. Like it's like he gets to do wrestling. He is on top a lot of the times. Like he's featured in top segments and everything like that. Him and Morrison, you know, even though I don't really agree with them being together right now, they do have good chemistry with each other. They just always have. And, seeing that and then seeing Maurice and stuff like that. Yeah, dude. It's a great love story between the two. So that's a good one, man.
Yeah. Mrs. feud with Daniel Bryan, I just want to add, was amazing. And I would say Maurice, too, has an amazing ring presence.
Yes,
They both just do really well together. So,
yes, they do.
so that's my number four, man. What you got for number three?
My number three is good old Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Um, I love them because like to me, like that's like the type of love story like I kind of dream of having. Like I hope that doesn't sound weird or anything like that, but it's like think about it. You're a pro wrestler. And I followed him when he was Tyler Black. He really made a name for himself in Ring of Honor. He was Ring of Honor champion, and he had some of the best matches and best like angles that Ring of Honor had. He had matches with I remember he had at Death Before Dishonor, Davey Richards versus Tyler Black for the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's one of the best matches in Ring of Honor history. Like if anyone has not seen that, they should go check that out. He had a breakout match with Nigel McGuinness that really like made people go, "Oh crap, like this guy's more than like what he appears to be. Like he has a lot of potential." And I always said that, and I was kind of like, well, you know what? If like I always said, he's going to be huge, and he actually drew like a good bit of eyeballs and a good bit of money for Ring of Honor when he was champion and stuff like that. But then of course he gets signed to WWE, he gets in the Shield and everything like that. And it's kind of just like that story of like, you know, he finds Becky Lynch and they just seem so perfect together. Like I was just like, you know, I'm not surprised those two got married, because when I heard that they were dating, I was like, oh well, that's the couple that you kind of aspire to be like in this business. Like you do get to work together, but you don't. Like you're on different shows, so then you come home and you see each other and everything like that. And it, you know, I'm sure like they have no problem rekindling their romance and stuff like that. So and then like, you know, Becky Lynch, talk about her story, you know, like she became Stone Cold Steve Austin. They were looking for a Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. Well, she became that. All right. I don't care what anyone says. She had the most interesting storylines. I thought that they could have done even better with her and Seth Rollins. Like maybe even had those two go up against the Authority at the time. It was just like, well, if you know you really want to use Triple H and Triple H is willing to do it, like I'm just like, well, you could actually have a match with these, you know, people and stuff like that. You know, you could actually have a SummerSlam type match. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Boom. Sells tickets, you know. Who knows how it would be as a match and everything? I think it would be great. I think everyone would get into that type of storyline. I like their story and everything like that. And like I said, Becky Lynch became like the biggest thing. And then, you know, she had to vacate the women's title out of nowhere because she revealed, you know, she's going to become a mom and everything. And then I was just like, wow, I'm so happy for her and Seth Rollins. Like, that's amazing, you know, kind of thing. So, yeah, I like their story, man. So, Seth Rollins versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you wholeheartedly. You know, they're certainly a power couple. They're both lifers. I don't see either one of them getting out of the business unless like being a mom just like changes Becky Lynch's mentality a lot.
Yeah,
But Seth Rollins is a lifer. Seth Rollins really is like the modern day Triple H in a lot of
yeah,
ways. And Becky Lynch, I mean, do I think WWE dropped the ball with her to an extent? Yes.
yeah.
With her being away and hopefully coming back, you will definitely see. I think they have a chance, a real chance, to fix that problem because
I,
when you've
I
been
did.
gone, you know you can do whatever. It's a fresh slate when you come back, and that people are going to be very happy to see her come back.
Yeah, like it's funny because people say that like that's the death blow for their careers, is you know they've been gone for 9 months or stuff like that, and I'm just like, yeah, but if you were Stone Cold level or Hulk Hogan level or you know Becky Lynch level that she was or that she is at technically, you know, it's kind of good for you to go away because now it's like the audience misses you. Because I'll be honest, like unless it's been with Bailey and Sasha, I just think the women's division has suffered greatly
Right.
in WWE. And I believe that when Becky Lynch comes back, it's like, oh shit, like, you know, finally, like some good stuff is going to happen or something. You know, I don't know, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Hogan was gone for literally a decade, and you see how that return worked. So she can certainly do it, and I think there is money in a horsewomen match. Uh,
Mhm.
it could be a main event of a SummerSlam. It could be the main event of a Mania if they do it right. That's money. That's one of the few angles WWE could run that would have my attention.
Yeah.
I probably would cut the match off midway because I don't want to watch Charlotte win it, and I have almost entire confidence that they would put Charlotte over, and I would be turbo pissed. But I would enjoy it up until that moment. Um, yeah, man, that's an awesome pick. That's an awesome
Yeah.
pick. My number three, um, is I would say the most at least wrestling famous couple on the list. My number three is we've already covered them in a unfortunately in a Dark Side of the Ring episode, Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. Um, I don't think my list could have possibly been complete without these two on it. Um, they have, I'd say, the most famous wrestling wedding segment. Um,
Now
they
cue.
exactly. They have, uh, you know, uh, they just have this incredible legacy. Unfortunately, the real life reality of it has been tarnished significantly. They're both no longer with us, unfortunately. But at the time, and I mean, regardless of what we know about what was going on behind the scenes, in front of the cameras, everyone adored these two together as a couple. I would say, like I said, as far as just purely wrestling history goes, they're maybe the most and famous couple of all time. If not, they're definitely belong on the top five list. Um, you know, while Elizabeth had a lot of angles and her own career, Macho Man is one of the greats. Um, he's one of the greatest of all time. Uh, so yeah, I mean, they are absolutely wrestling royalty, you know, and yeah, so they had to be on this list. They had, and so that's my number three is Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth.
That's a good one, man. And I thought about that one too, but it just the way that it ended, kind of thing. It's tragic, and I don't really want to think about that part. So, um, but yeah, man, and Macho Man, dude, is going to be one of the best of all time. He got pro wrestling from day one. He got what it was. He got that. Hey, I need to be this character 24/7. Like that's the way he talked in interviews. But you could tell that he generally loved Miss Elizabeth and stuff like that, and she loved him too. There's a lot of other stuff, and people talk about that kind of stuff, but like they generally had love for each other. So yeah, man, I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, man. All right, we're getting on up there. What's your number two?
All right, my number two is one of the reasons I actually like when it first debuted, really kind of liked this show, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But mine is Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan, man. I really love that story, man. I love your reaction. People on Spotify are pissed because they don't know what just happened right there. But
Dude,
my
I'll be completely honest. I completely forgot about them. I forgot about Cena and Nikki too. I forgot about the Bella twins entirely. I I may have I may have reconsidered this list, but I'm still very happy with my top five. But proceed.
well,
That's an incredible pick.
let me see. So I actually started watching Total Divas when it first premiered because first at the time I was like, okay, WWE is expanding their program, and let's just be honest, if they've got the right girls, this could be perfect and stuff like that. Because I know people that are not big fans of reality TV show or anything like that. Or, I like, okay, my mother loves that. What is that? I don't know what it's called or anything like that. But it was where it covered the Playboy Bunny Girls, and it was like it was a reality show, but it was on Entertainment Weekly or something like that. Not or I'm not sure if that.
E
I,
was the channel. Yeah,
yeah,
it was their channel. I don't
yeah,
remember what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's the same channel that Total Divas
Yeah,
was on and stuff like that. And I was just like, you know what? This is gonna be a guilty pleasure, but it talks about wrestling and you get just like a little peek behind the thing. And it was interesting because I always felt like I was just like, okay, I've never really been that big a fan of the Bellas in the ring, although I thought Nikki went on a pretty good title run for what she was able to do and everything like that. But when the show first started, I thought it kind of had the perfect format to it because you had John Cena and Nikki Bella, and I was just like, okay, I know there's generally love here and everything like that, but a lot of this stuff is just like, oh my god, this is just the uh, pure attempt to be Kardashians, and meets like a teen love story or stuff like that. Like I saw right through that. Although I generally was like, okay, but like if it's real, I'm happy for them. So like you had that part of the Bellas, but then like you go to Bree's story and she says she's dating Daniel Bryan, and I went, "Oh my god, like no, that one actually feels real." Like and
right.
I know that they fluff stuff up with that stuff too, but like you kind of had like a tale of two stories there. And like I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, that kind of makes for good television, which is kind of why they gave them their own show. And then Cena and Nikki ended up breaking up, so they had to change all that up and whatnot. But yeah, dude, I like their story, and it sucks because I thought once again here was a chance that it wasn't so much that WWE could help that they missed out on this because they kind of were dealt a bad hand when they gave Brian the title. He immediately was injured and stuff like that, so he had to get surgery and stuff like that. And this was before like he had to retire. But like I wish that they could have capitalized on Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon and the Authority. Like, I'm just like, if we're talking like, okay, I know we've been covering the pure tournament and stuff like that, and I love the sports based presentation, but let's just be honest, WWE is not that. So I'm sitting there just like, if you want those types of storylines, there's your perfect storyline because these couples are actually real. There's, Triple H and Stephanie really are married and they really do run the company, basically, or help run it in ways. And then Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan are, they are a reality TV, couple, but yet they're a real couple. Like you can tell there's generally love there. And Bryan has such a good story from being in Ring of Honor and having all that success, helping put Ring of Honor on the map and stuff like that. And then Brie Bella just getting with him. And like I like it's funny because I thought that was just a storyline that they tried to do back in the day, which was just so stupid and everything like that. It never went anywhere. But I thought that like that was a like weird storyline that they came up with, and then like it turned out like, oh no, wait a minute, they're actually dating, and then they get married, they have a child and everything like that. So Daniel Bryan's doing wrestling, but now he's a family man and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I really like I said, I like their story and everything like that. So yeah, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella.
Yeah, man, that's an awesome pick. Let me tell you, you're onto something there about that because to me it always felt like Nikki Bella and John Cena were both these incredibly fake people, and they both were just like you said, like trying to be Kardashians. They're just so fake, like on and off camera. Whereas Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan always felt genuine. Like I think that like Brie and Nikki couldn't be two different people, more different people. Um, yeah, man, that's a good pick. That's an awesome pick. And once again, kind of like the Miz and Maurice, there are people outside of wrestling who don't know anything about wrestling that are fans of theirs. and even got into WWE because of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, larger than life, man, bigger than the business, and it's a good pick.
Yeah, man, and like I said, it's just it's crazy that I used to see Daniel Bryan on DVDs with Ring of Honor and stuff like that, and he had some of the best matches you've ever seen. Like I said, he has my top number one match of all time with Nigel McGuinness. I just, in my opinion, that is like just one of my favorite personal matches I've ever seen, and to see him doing that, and then like he became once again, like just like Becky Lynch, he became stone cold big. Like everyone was doing the yes chant. Just he became so big that when he wasn't in the Royal Rumble, people booed the shit out of it, and WWE went, well, fuck it, well, now we have to, like there's no other choice, we have to do this. So he got to the top and everything like that. And then it sucks that he got injured because like they tried to do it with Brie and Stephanie, which was actually pretty good. I thought I really did. Some things I thought were over the top, but like just imagine if Daniel Bryan had actually been able to be there, and we would have set up like at SummerSlam. The main event would have probably been, or at least somewhere in the big main event spot. Since SummerSlam's like 4 hours now, like like it's somewhere in there. It would have been Triple H and Stephanie, the Authority, versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella and something like that. And it's like if Daniel Bryan, wins this, or if they win this match, then the Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella can run WWE for a month, or Daniel Bryan gets a world title shot or something like that. Just something like that. They could have done that,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they weren't able to at the time. But they still could have brought him back and tried to do it at some point. I don't know. Like it just it's fantasy booking, I guess, on my part. But
Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, honestly, these lists are pretty unique so far, and I have to wonder. The only thing in my head right now that's spinning is, do we have the same number one? But anyway, my number two, and you just brought them up. My number two is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Um,
we
and
finally got one.
we did, and I wonder if it's going to be the only one, unless our number one is the exact same couple. Then and it could be. Then yeah, this is going to be it. However, here's why they're number two on my list. For reasons that you stated already, they run or will run or will inherit the largest wrestling empire in the history of the world,
Yeah.
and maybe the future of the world, even though that's terrifying to me. They both have now. Granted, if Stephanie McMahon was not Vince McMahon's daughter, we would never have heard of her. But she is, and the fact that she is. Triple H, um, did he sleep with the boss's daughter? Did he do some underhanded shit repeatedly? Is he not really a person I'd probably want to hang out with? Sure, none of that has anything to do with why they're number two on this list. They will inherit the largest wrestling company in the history of the world. They are
along
prominent
with,
figures in wrestling.
along with Shane. I
True, true,
do.
but we know that he's not running the show.
No, but I think like the three of them will actually work really good together. I
Sure,
just I have a
sure,
great feeling
but
about that because
but let me
they
tell
can.
you how that goes. Let me tell you
Yeah,
how that goes. That Triple H says I want to do this, and then Shane McMahon says I want to do this, and then Stephanie goes I agree with Triple H, and that's going to happen 99% of the time. They will de facto run WWE.
yeah. And that was kind of why I put them on my list as well. Like they do have a look again. All right, underhanded tactics. Okay, I guess that's in the eye of the beholder at times too. Let's take that into account as well. But like, I generally do feel like they do have a love story.
I
Like
yeah, they have good chemistry together, and I really don't think any of that shit about whether whether she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth, whether Triple H stabbed people in the back to get where he's at. None of that shit matters. The two of them are iconic,
Yeah,
bar none. Do
I
I
agree.
do I approve of how they got there? Not fucking important.
Yeah.
Um, uh, they are it. Triple H has a main event legendary career without having ever married Stephanie McMahon. Boom. That's all there is to it. However, because he did that, he's able to move into a much more prominent position as a WWE executive. He has nurtured NXT into what it is, and I consider NXT to be the. I mean, NXT is a indie show with a $1 million budget or more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got $1 billion company backing it. It would literally be like if if I won like the Mega Millions last weekend and became a billionaire. It's what Viral Pro Wrestling would look like next month. It
Yeah.
it is the ultimate indie show, just with a massive fucking media conglomerate wrestling company behind it. It's
Yeah.
an empire. They have an empire. Um, and regardless of what your once again, the opinion of how they got it or whatever, or any of the shit that's liable to come out in the China episode of Dark Side of the Ring if it ever happens, all that aside, they're fucking legendary and they are my number two.
Yeah, and Triple H was smart when he saw what was going on with FCW. He's like, dude, we have an up. And here's the thing: NXT is also a great idea when you have a whole network. It's one of those. It's one of those things that just like when Netflix has original content, Disney Plus has like The Mandalorian, and just recently launched WandaVision and stuff like that. Like it's original content and it makes people want to get it and stuff like that. It's like when it's exclusively to the network, that to me was when NXT was the most profitable. Right now, I don't know what, how they're doing right now. They still it's still a really good product. And if Triple H is like really booking a lot of stuff down there for them like that, that's just awesome, you know. So yeah, that's why they were on my list, and so we finally got one.
Yeah,
We finally got one. Like
yeah,
I said, and like you said, and our reasons are pretty much, kind of the same on that. So
right. Um, all right, man. Let's see. Let's see if we have the same number one. What do you got?
let's see. I don't know. Well, here we go. My number one is again some people I worked with very closely in this business and know pretty well.
We don't have the same number one. At least I
Okay.
don't think so.
Okay, well, my number one is Anthony Henry and Amber Young, or I'm sorry, Amber Henry now, I guess. But yeah,
I
dude.
think she still goes by Amber Young to the ring. I'm not sure
Yeah,
100%, but
yeah.
I think so.
But Anthony Henry and Amber Young, man, I saw them in Flatline. And again, it's just like I can look at two people like that and just tell, like, hey, these people generally love each other. That they're kind of two peas in a pod kind of thing. They always were really cool together and stuff like that. And I loved the fact that PWX actually picked up on that and used her to go out to the ring with him, and used her like in that storyline with John Schuyler. Like it actually, like, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but like, as you like to say, like it actually made John Schuyler interesting.
Trust me, bro. There's no fucking way John Schuyler listens to this program.
Okay, well, and I don't really believe that. But like, anyways, I knew you would get a kick out of that.
Oh
But
no, I do, and I still don't think it made him interesting. But go ahead.
well, they had a really good feud with that. They had the classic he kidnapped her kind of thing. Like I saw the promo on her and I was just like, I know this is all scripted and everything like that, but just when I see it, like even on TV, I'm just like, my God, like if anyone actually tried that with me and my woman, I beat the living crap out of them, thing. Like that's just something you don't cross and stuff like that. So it makes for a good little storyline. And I like the feud that they had. He lost, and then like I or Anthony Henry lost in the matchup where like Amber was up for grabs or something like that. And I would joke with them at Flatline when I saw them. I was just like, so Amber, you can't be seen with Henry, can you? Because aren't you now the property of John Schuyler? She's like, yeah, I'm now the property of John Schuyler, damn it. Like and stuff like that. And like she was just it was really cool to see that. And then basically they had a street fight where I think he would win her back or something like that, or she was up for grabs again. I don't know exactly what happened. I just remember the street fight, and it got a lot of praise. Like even Antoine Brewer posted it on Facebook. Like he posted pictures of the match and stuff like that. He was just like amazing storytelling here, and just like I can just I saw that match, I think on YouTube or something like that, and it wasn't very long that it was up there, but like I think I saw it on YouTube, or I might have just seen highlights of it. I don't know. It might have just been highlights, but like they had the big embrace in the ring, did Anthony and Amber. And I was just like, okay, I don't care what anyone says. Like they actually like are dating and love each other behind the scenes, and then they get to do it in front of the audience and stuff like that. Like that's awesome. And Anthony was just really coming into his own in PWX, and then like the Evolve, and she, I'm pretty sure she went with him every single place. I don't know that, I never followed them like that or anything like that,
She
but
traveled with him to some of the places
yeah.
that they went. Sometimes it was just him and Drake, but she traveled with them when she could for sure. And and
Well,
and, and fun tidbit, she once upon a time had a pretty decent in ring career herself too. She used to actually wrestle as well. So yeah, I mean that's an amazing pick, and it is definitely. Now I'm gonna get shit from them for not having them on my list.
I don't know, man. And like I said, I just really thought PWX did a really good job with her being in this corner and stuff like that. Like, I remember, dude, if I could real quick, I remember like it was yesterday. You called me or you texted me while I was at work when I was working at Fox at the time, and I was on the graveyard shift basically. And you were just like, "Hey, want to go to PWX tomorrow?" And I was like, "Can I make it by 9 a.m.?" He's like, and you were like, "Sure." So I was like, "All right, cool." And so I went to this, and dude, it was a huge show. Like there was a big, huge crowd there. Like you know dare I say, like bigger than we had at Flatline and stuff like that. There was a huge crowd, and we had really good seats. And we saw like Sue Young versus Tessa Blanchard. We saw one of the best wrestling matches I've seen live in a long time. Shane Strickland and Darius
Darius Lockhart.
Lockhart. Amazing matchup. But then headlining that was Anthony Henry, Ethan Case, and James Drake. And I was just like, wow, like that's insane. Like the people, like there were names that were there that were, quite frankly, a little bit bigger at the time as far as name value, I guess, in wrestling. But like, you know, they were the headlines. They were the, main event of it. I think that the only good thing, and no disrespect to Ethan or anything, but I was kind of really hoping that it was just going to be Anthony and James Drake as the main event. But that was just me because I'm a big fan of the one-on-one instead of triple threat. But they had an amazing matchup, and then Ethan wins it and everything like that. So I mean, that's cool. But like even seeing Amber, like, oh my God, this brought me so much joy. was when Amber grabbed Chris Wiggins, who was the referee, ran in and tried to count the 3 count. She pulls him out and she kicks him, right below the belt, and I think even gave him a DDT or something like that. And I was just like, oh my god, like this is incredible. Like I'm so happy for these guys. Like they're getting to live out their dreams. They're getting to do something that they love to do, and they're still with each other and everything like that. They're moving on up in the wrestling business. And so like I just think that's really cool. And the fact that he got signed to NXT recently, and now obviously she's gonna go with him and stuff like that. And it's great, man. I like I said, I like these two when I hung out with them in the locker room. Henry, I'll be quite honest, could be a little rough around the edges at times because he had a chip on his shoulder, and you could tell that he did. And I kind of felt like he had a reason to and everything like that because he was just so good in the ring. But, just the two of them were just really cool. And Amber was really cool. She was fun to talk to.
Yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see if maybe they secure a spot for her on NXT in the future as his valet or something.
They
Um,
might.
I think there's money in it, um, but we'll see. That's an awesome pick. I really like that. I did not think in a million years like that. That one just kind of came out of nowhere too. Um, yeah, I like it. I really would love to see the two of them together on NXT. But either way, yeah, I agree. The work they have done has been really good, and the fact that like I not to name drop whatever, they're two good friends of mine. I have an excellent working relationship with Anthony. One of the I would say the worst thing about this pandemic was that I did not get to work with him more before he got signed, and that has been from a business standpoint for me the worst thing about the pandemic. Uh, it has affected me considerably because I would have loved for his like last match on the Indies to have been at his home, to have been in Augusta, Georgia. But it is what it is. He got to go out with Drake. He's gonna wrestle Timmy Lou Retton pretty soon, who's had an
Yeah.
amazing transformation this year. Yeah, amazing pick for number one.
And by the way, I got to mention James Drake in that same thing because when they were the workhorsemen tag team, and she was also like in the middle at one point, like she was also like their valet and everything like that, and she would get involved. I was just like, oh my god, that's freaking money.
Yeah,
Give me that story right there. I could write TV for days with that
and
stuff.
and
And
they did and evolve. I mean,
what they did.
yeah. So, um, all right, man. So we only had one. We only had one crossover. That we only had one couple that was on both lists, and maybe that means Triple H and Stephanie are the number one. Maybe they are the number one couple. But
Maybe.
but number one on my list is Edge and Lita. Um,
Wow.
Yeah. So let me explain why this is the number one couple on my list. This was a real life thing. This was a tragedy that was turned into an angle. Not a tragedy, a controversy, we'll say. Lita was the long time on and off screen girlfriend of Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, who rode around with Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and Rhino and just obviously Jeff Hardy as well. So it was very well known that this group of people were all pretty close, and the legendary TLC matches with the Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian, um, and it came out. This was one of the first big stories where the internet wrestling community bled over from the internet into real life because the rumors about Lita cheating on Matt with Edge were everywhere to the point that WWE had no choice but to address it. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they made the worst call ever of firing Matt Hardy because he went on social media and went off about it.
Yeah.
So then immediately, people already want to be on Matt's side, even though Edge was a very popular babyface at the time. If you recall, when Edge in like the 2004 era was single handedly trying to take all of Evolution down, he was like this rising babyface in the company that a lot of people were really behind. And then this happened, and they immediately have to turn him heel.
Yeah.
And they said, fuck it, this is money. We're going to put him with Lita on screen because it will infuriate everyone. And of course, when they do this, they have no choice but to actually bring back Matt Hardy. And now you have taken your maybe not as over as you would like babyface, and you have made him the most over heel in the company. They had him win Money in the Bank. They had him cash it in on Cena. They had him with the Rated R championship. This was really and truly when Edge went from being just an upper mid card guy to being an all time main eventer. This is the thing that propelled him to that level. And you had Lita right alongside him. And I would say as well. The last truly like shocking, risque thing that WWE did was the in-ring sex celebration or whatever between Edge and Lita, which will live in infamy as being either amazing or terrible, however you want to see it, or both. But that was the last like really like raunchy kind of thing that they did before they went to the PG era.
Yeah,
Um,
probably because USA went up to him and went like, "Hey guys, we can't do that." Like,
the amount of people that tuned in. Like WWE's ratings had been shit for which don't get me wrong. Now they would kill to have the ratings they had then.
yeah,
But then but then the ratings were seen as like this was after the Attitude Era. Those ratings were considered to be horrible. The
yeah,
next night after Edge cashed in the money in the bank on Cena and won the title, the ratings for Raw freaking skyrocketed. I want to say it was the biggest post pay-per-view jump ever.
yeah.
With the Raw rating going through the roof like that. This couple was money. And as somebody who's a big fan of both of them, I don't especially appreciate kind of how Lita has been treated in recent years. But I loved her on commentary for the Mae Young Classic with Jr. Everything that Edge has done on and off screen has been awesome. I love that he's with Beth Phoenix now, and they're both Hall of Famers, and he's been able to make a return, even though they said he would never wrestle again. He's one of my favorites of all time. And yeah, this is my number one couple. I enjoyed them the most, I think, out of anybody on screen.
And that's a good one because yeah, let's just be honest. That feud with him and Matt Hardy, it was just so good. Like I was just like, okay, even I gotta admit, this is just good television. But once again, because it was real, it was
Yeah,
relatable to people and stuff like that. Like it didn't feel scripted, like we all know that it is, but it just didn't feel that way. It was kind of like, oh, okay, this can and that's a good one. I didn't think about that though, for obvious reasons, but like, I got to mention that one. I thought about Edge and not Lita, but I thought about Edge and Beth Phoenix, because they have a happy romance. And then, like I said, Cody just missed my list just because I don't know. I, like because I like their story too, but all of the others I liked for obvious reasons that I said. But that's a good one, man.
yeah.
Um, this was a lot of fun.
I agree. Yeah, I just kind of came to my head when I realized we were going to do a Valentine's Day episode, and then the other thing too. I want to mention this one couple that almost made it on my list actually have no romantic anything whatsoever. I almost put The Rock and Lillian Garcia on there just because of their on-screen chemistry and the way they always interacted together, even though they're not actually a couple at all.
No,
On or off screen, I always loved the way that they interacted um, when they
yeah,
were on camera together. But
yeah. that was a good one, and I probably could have thought of some more, but yeah, these are my top five, and that was a good top five from you as well, man.
Yeah, I was very surprised that we only had one. I guess it just goes to show, man. There's a lot out there. Um, you know, I think we probably could have done 10. It would have taken forever, but you know,
Probably.
it would have taken forever.
Because and I'll admit that there's one, and I don't really consider this more of a couple story. I kind of consider it a family thing overall in WWE, which was Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon. But their like relationship on screen and in general just sounds weird. Like I'm just like, I don't know. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. Like to be quite honest, if they wanted to, they could make a WWE slash NBC original TV show, and it would be like the House of Cards. Only it would be the story of Linda McMahon and Vince McMahon.
dude,
Like,
that would be amazing.
what
Actually,
did see? I just made WWE. I consume more content than anyone, so I could say all of this.
yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. Well, everybody, we're gonna wrap this one on up. This has been our Valentine's Day special here at Evolved Review. Caleb, thanks for joining me to do this top five couples list. I had a lot of fun doing it. One thing I do want to mention, before we head out, is I know you've got the Power Rangers Go podcast that you guys are in the process of getting that back up and running, so you can continue that. It's been a great run. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on at SWN before we head out?
SWN, me and Chris Dickens are going to get together for what seems like one final episode because he's going to be kind of doing his own thing. And then I have a big announcement as to what's going to happen with the Stovall Wrestling Network and something that I have been working on in the past things. And I'll just go ahead and spoil it. Stovall Productions. So, and that will be yeah, that will be I'm not going to give all the details on that right now. But so will Power Rangers Go become part of this. It will be a part of this thing called Stovall Productions, and SWN is going to see some changes. The Stovall Wrestling Network is still going to exist. It's just it's going to be used in a different type of way. Let's just say that. But all will be revealed soon once I get everything set up and everything like that. I'm getting more settled, because like I said, I recently moved to Atlanta. So I'm getting things set up now. And I'm still not really settled because like I'm staying with someone right now while I still settle into this new adventure. We'll put it that way. So like I'm staying with someone, but then like in a couple of months, I'm gonna be getting my own place again. So there's gonna be like a lot of changes going on. But I'm getting like I'm getting some stuff together, and yeah, there's just gonna be some things to come. And I probably gave away more details than I wanted to, but whatever. Who cares? This was such a good episode. Why not? Like,
If you stayed through the whole episode, you get the extra tidbits. Um, Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see how it goes. We're going to continue to do great things here at Entertainment Evolved.
yes.
Our sort of affiliate podcast, the Superhero Homies, I always have to put them over big. They're
Oh,
doing awesome things. Check them out if you haven't. They're just, I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time, but I'm an avid listener. I signed up for their Patreon the first day that they had it, but this year they are absolutely crushing it. Just they've taken it another step. They refuse to become stagnant. They refuse to get complacent with their product, and they just keep stepping it up and stepping it up. So definitely check them out.
yeah, and I love that podcast as well, which is why I got the idea to bring in Ace for the Power Rangers Go thing because I knew he loved Power Rangers as well. It's great to always hear about them. But I was gonna say this, dude. Remember, we did an episode of the Royal Rumble '92. By the time everyone is hearing this, and that was suggested by a fan, And you recently posted on Facebook that this show, an Evolve Review, is growing. So, guys, fans out there, please continue to do that. If you have a specific event in wrestling that you want us to review and give our thoughts and opinions on, please message us on Facebook or message us directly. I'll let you give them that type of information. But yeah, hit us up on social media and stuff like that, because we're growing every day, man, it seems like.
Yeah, every time we put out an episode, that graph just gets a little bit higher, and I love to see it. Our presence on the audio platforms, we've only been on there for, as of the time we're recording this, just under 60 days, and our performance on the audio platforms has been well beyond what my expectations were, and I'm looking forward to growing it and growing it and growing it. If you have something that you want us to review, message us on Facebook. That's the easiest way to get in touch with us. We'll be happy to do it. Somebody wrote in that Royal Rumble 92 review to us, and we recorded it the next week. I'm not saying we can do that for everybody, especially if we start getting blown up with requests, but we'll try to get it in there somewhere. I mean, we've got a lot of things planned for this year, but we have no problem. If you want to see something specific, a documentary about wrestling, anything wrestling related, honestly, hit us up. We'll be glad to do it. But that being said, we're running over the hour here. Caleb, thanks for joining me each and every week on this podcast. Hope everybody at home had an awesome Valentine's Day, and this has been an Evolved Review.